Hey guys, it's 101 Smith back again with not a review, but a more update about the channel and what to expect going on coming into the fall season here. Actually, this video is partially update and partially more of a vlog discussion. First of all, I just want to update, and I'm so excited to announce that as of this recording of this video, we have 275 subscribers into this channel, which the last time I did a sort of update was close to around May, and I think I was around 175. So to get almost 100 brand new subscribers in the last season or so, it's just a phenomenal growth, and I'm just so excited and thankful for everyone who has decided to be a part of this channel and be a part of this fantastic world that I try to create for all of you here. So with that in mind, this is more of a discussion now. When it comes to full-on updates, I will leave a time mark in the description of the video if you're not interested about my personal life or me in general. If you're just here for the Gunpla, I will leave a description for you so you will know when to jump and when to know when you can come in. But this video is pretty important to me because I've been sitting on this now for about the last 6 weeks. If you haven't noticed, you haven't seen a lot of updates or videos in general about me this summer. I think the last video or videos that I made brand new were the Masquerade Exia Repair 2 and the Gundam Tristan. The Sinanju video was in the making since May, but I never got a chance to finish it until early July. So that was when I was able to somewhat get back to work. But this is more of a discussion because, you know, I was kind of afraid to do this because I don't know how the Gunpla community deals with these sort of things. I don't know if everyone here is of open mind or how sensitive everyone is here about this topic, but I wanted to have a discussion about mental health because that's been my main crux over the last year of what's been going on in my life. If you guys don't know, last summer, late July, I lost my grandmother. My grandmother, I was very close to. I grew up with, you know, up until she died, I never knew a day without her. She was just always a part of the family. My grandmother was a type 2 diabetic, and by the end of her life, she was a triple amputee. No legs, and the third amputation was losing her thigh altogether. And I had to take care of her every week, no matter what. From May of 2007 to the day I turned 23, I had to take care of her every week, once a week, visit her, pick her up, literally put her to bed. No matter how I felt, no matter what was going on in my life, whether I wanted to or not, I had to do it because that was my grandmother. And she was very involved in my life, and just to have her gone was just more devastating than anything that I've been going through ever since, because, well, not going since, that was the most devastating thing that ever happened to me on a personal level, because to have someone that you love pass away that was always there every step of the way really kind of just throws you back. And, you know, I was supposed to see her the day before she died. We didn't know she died. She just fell asleep and never woke up, and I was supposed to be there. And due to a life situation, I couldn't leave, and the day was over, and I said to myself, well, I'll go see you tomorrow. I woke up the next morning, and I get a call when I was on my way to work saying your grandmother passed. And, you know, it really hurts because my grandmother was very important in my life. And ever since, it's been a downward spiral. Around the same time that I lost my grandmother, my first relationship fell apart. It was a relationship based out of insecurity. The other person involved was just very insecure about certain aspects of my life. The people that I chose to be as friends. And, you know, a lot of the blame goes to the other person, but I will own up to mine as well. I could have handled it better. I could have tried to give them more confidence about my lifestyle instead of dismissing their worries and their concerns. When you're in a relationship and when you have a partner, it's a two-way street and you need to be able to discuss those things. And I did try to discuss said things, but dealing with a person with a lot of insecurity, the person reminded me of who I used to be about 5 years ago. If I was 18, 19-year-old Reggie, this relationship would have been perfect because I was very insecure and had little to no confidence at all. But, 23-year-old Reggie had some confidence and could, be more relaxed and comfortable in his own skin. Whereas my partner, who was about 4 years younger than me, just did not have that capability. And the relationship ended it on a very dramatic note, which I will not go into details here. That's just too private and I'm not putting that out. And then the main crux besides that is just feeling my depression, the loss of my grandmother, the loss of my first relationship, my first girlfriend. And then, when you have friends who they might care about you and, they confront you and say they want you to step up and be a better friend because the relationship needs to evolve beyond me just giving and giving and giving. They needed me to be more assertive and put my foot down on certain issues and just be an overall more thoughtful and more mature individual. But it's a struggle when you keep going through loss after loss after loss. And I'm not going to say I was perfect at all. I made some very stupid mistakes. Getting drunk when I shouldn't have gotten drunk, using alcohol as a crutch. Not even as a crutch, just more of a way to get through my self-loathing. I don't support that at all, and that was a dumb mistake on my end as well. And, at the same time, because I've had to learn this recently through my own and some help with some friends, realizing that you were in a toxic relationship with a multitude of people who you consider your main support group, the main people that you go to when things go down, your main kind of pillar to hold you up. I have no problem as a person compromising. There always has to be compromising in a relationship, whether platonically or romantically. You need to be able to talk things out. You need to be able to have open communication and trust and behavioral changes that makes everyone happy. And I felt I was doing that. I'm compromising, I'm bending backwards, I'm doing things that I'm not comfortable with, trying to make amends. It was just more of you get a list of all the things that are wrong with you, and first of all, these are all the things that they always had an issue with, but they never said anything about until they finally got so much resentment and bitterness over set actions and behaviors that when they finally come at you, they're so fed up with it, and it's like, you need to change now. I don't like this. It's bothering me. You need to fix this immediately, or else I can't deal with you. So it's like getting a long list of all the things you need to work on. And I wanted to keep these people in my life, and I was willing to work on it. And it was just, you cross one out, you cross another one out, but then you get presented with two more things that you need to work on. And it's like cross, addition, cross, addition, cross, addition. It was just like a fucking list that would never fucking end. And you start to realize that maybe these people don't find you comfortable to be around. They don't like you ultimately, and to have things where they would keep to themselves, but yet they need to fucking trust you. They would say, I need to be able to trust you in order for this relationship to work. And I would say, well, I don't trust you. And it's just, their needs were more important than my needs. And it's not fucking healthy. Everyone's needs need to be met in a relationship. And sometimes, yes, you do need to compromise, and that's fine. But it's just, you can't be the one individual bending. You constantly bend, and it's never good enough. And then it just keeps furthering down a dark slope where you're just never feeling comfortable And no one's happy. No one's happy. You're not happy. The other person or the other groups of people aren't happy. No one is happy. And you bring out the worst in each other. And it's so ugly. And with me, it was just feeling my depression so much, because I've been dealing with depression since I was 9 years old. I've been dealing with this since 2003. Imagine a 9-year-old wanting to kill themselves. This is, insane. This is insanity. I've dealt with it before, and I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. I have flaws. I can guarantee you there's one person subscribed to me, and I won't say his name, but he's known me since I was 11 years old. He knows my quirks. He knows how annoying I can be. I can be an obnoxious motherfucker. And I have a quirk where I call people nicknames, and they've never been very popular. It's just a certain select people who have decided to either tolerate it or just own it. Not a lot of people. That person knows firsthand experience how that is like and how that makes other people feel. And it's just something that wasn't something that I'm gonna give up on, because the other part of my problem is I'm autistic. I have Asperger's syndrome, and I was diagnosed with this since I was 19. I've had it my whole life, but just did not know until the late stages of high school, and I had to get evaluated for it. And not to know this until you're 19, very late in the game of your childhood, and trying to develop your social skills, and what little social skills you have, refine them and add to your skill set is very difficult. I'm still screwing up to this day, but I'm just different from other people. The neurotypical people aren't going to be able to deal with me, and it's a blessing and a curse, because it's something that has allowed me to stay to myself no matter what. But at the same time, it is a curse, because I can't be with the average Joe person. I can't. They'll be completely uncomfortable with me. I will be annoyed and grow resentment for them not being able to have the tools or the assets to deal with me. I have to be with more people who are more on the social outcast side of things, and it's been a very difficult battle. And realizing, having a group of people, and one person in particular that these group of people I've known for 3, and then your best friend that you've known for 4.5 years, who you love to death, but their mental issues just drive you insane, and you keep trying to look the other way, and then it's just no one was happy. And with me, I wasn't happy at all. It got to a point where I tried to commit suicide. I tried to stab myself in the gut with a knife, and it got to a point where family members told me I needed to go get help, and I got help. But then I got out, and my friends decided, or my main group of friends decided, and my best friend decided that incompatibilities were too much, and they are done. They decided to disassociate themselves with me, and I didn't have much of a choice. I mean, I could keep trying, but that leads to a slippery slope called harassment, and you can't force someone who doesn't want to be in your life, no matter how badly you want it to be in your life. And in our last conversation with my friends, I told them I fucking hated them for all the resentment I had, because I felt they never validated any of my feelings or my misfeelings towards them. It was always about how they felt, how they were affected by me, what they needed from me. And whenever I tried to voice that, which they wanted me to, because I just kept to myself the first 2 years of our friendship, they said no. They already invalidated my feelings and what I need out of them. And I was told, you're a child. You don't pay bills. You go to school. It was just a messy situation. And I wanted to do this mainly just because, and it's taken me a while to actually do this, because I don't know how people feel about mental health on an overall level, especially in the Gunpla community. But I decided to make this video because if there are people out there who deal with mental health in the Gunpla community, or even any of my subscribers, it's fucking okay. I mean, it's not okay that you suffer. Please, if you can, go get help. please talk to somebody. Please work and improve, but it's okay if you feel fucked up. It's okay if you think you're fucked up. There is a bit of a stigmatization towards mental health because a lot of people from previous generations don't get it, and some people are never going to get it, but I would like to think that it's becoming more open. We can start to have more honest discussions about it publicly, and this was my chance to decide it because it was just, I felt I had to say something, and it's not, and partially this video is for me to vent, for me to feel better about it now that I've had 2 months to sit on it and not just overreact through emotion alone. But it was just also just due to the fact that there might be people who are subscribed to me who might be out there who go through this, and I wanted to know that they're not alone, and I understand their plight, and I wanted to know it's okay that they have mental health issues. I just very strongly implore you to go get help. And not only just go get help, find a way to exercise your demons and use them in a happy and productive way. And one of the ways for me has always been Gunpla. I've been in this hobby for 4 years now, and ironically I started this after I got out of another toxic friendship where I was pretty much giving the other, it was a very ugly codependent relationship where they gave me attention when I was so desperate and needed it, and I gave them money for drugs and alcohol as a teenager, and it was very ugly and codependent, and this was my outlet when that ended, because it was just, at 20 years old you go, oh my god, I don't have to spend money on drugs and alcohol which aren't going to me at all. I can use this for myself. And you know, it started with the fact on my 20th birthday I wanted a Wing Zero action figure, but I couldn't find one because at the time Gundam was dead in North America, but they had the model kits. And I said, whoa, not only can I own Wing Zero, I can build Wing Zero? Fucking awesome! And my first, I started building the kits. My very first kit was the Star Build Trike High Grade, and I sucked, but it was just so much fun because I made it on my own, and it was just such a fun experience. And then I kept going because it was just, I never had a hobby before outside of video games, but some people don't consider video games a hobby. I said to myself, this is something that is mine. No matter who decides to stay or leave in my life, this is mine and no one can take that away from me. And that was what kept me in the Gunpla community. It was an artistic way to express myself with something that I held very near to my childhood, because I grew up with Gundam Wing on Toonami when I was 6 years old, just like a lot of people back in the early 2000s. And I just kept going with it, and for 4 years now I've made a ton of and met tons of brand new people, whether it was through meetups, anime conventions, the Gunpla network community, or just the Gunpla community on Reddit, Instagram. So many people who relate to this thing in such a similar way as an artistic expression. And not only as an artistic expression, but it allows them to escape from their problems in a healthy and safe and happy way that makes them feel fulfilled. And this is why I will always try to advocate for Gunpla, because yeah, we do have a couple of assholes in this community, but they're just very loud assholes. Not everyone is bad. I say 15% tops. That's not bad. So, this hobby has been something that's really helped me during my darkest times. And while I was on a pretty bad low this summer and not having kits at all, it was a combination of my depression and lack of funding. I couldn't buy any real kits, so there was actually a comment that came on my Senanju video where it said, maybe you should build something new. And it's just, I wish I could. I'm starting to get there. I can finally start to build more kits again. Finally have the financial capabilities of pulling that off, and this is where the update comes into play. What you guys can expect from me this coming fall. So as of this recording, by the time you guys should see this, I should be starting on the Master Grade Jagan. Guys, I know I'm really behind on a lot of releases. I know that the Vinagana, the Jagan, Stormbreaker Gundam should be coming out in the next month or so. I'll try to be picking that up. I might have a surprise kit sometime later in October, which is 00 related. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to see for yourselves. And I just want to get back in the saddle and do what I do best. And I hope that you guys will want to follow me during the journey of it. So for all of my 275 subscribers, I hope that you understood where I was coming from. I hope that you don't feel as uncomfortable with mental health. Please, again, I just really need to reiterate this. If you do struggle with mental health, please, I strongly implore you to work on it. You know, it's okay that you suffer from mental health. It's okay. And I would hope that anyone in this community who struggles with that can get help and have an open discussion about this. I was very scared to make this video, honestly, but I felt it was necessary. And if the whole goal of this channel, I'm not in it for fame, for money. I'm not in it to be popular at all. I'm happy with whatever likes and views I get. I would like to grow. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't like 10,000 subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views. I would be lying if I said that's not true. But the main message that I've always had, or the main mindset that I've always had with this channel, was just 2 parts. Self-expression, to be able to express myself creatively, whether it was through Gunpla, action figures, my acting. And then I said to myself, if I can change one thing about a person, if my videos gave someone a good time and they were able to laugh at some of the cringy ones, because I will admit the early ones are kind of cringy. I'll own that. If I was able to make someone laugh over my cringiness, if I was able to entertain someone, if I was able to get someone into Gunpla by doing my videos, if I was able to encourage or discourage someone on picking up a kit or not picking up a kit, if I was even able through one 10-minute, 11-minute video to entertain someone and allow them the voyage of having a good time without dealing with their everyday problems, or if they're in a heavy hole that they can't get out of, then I'm satisfied. I've done what I can. I don't care mostly about how big or how small my channel is. If I can uplift someone for their day or just put them in a good mood with my content, then I've done my job and I can be proud of myself as a content creator. And that's what I would like to say that I accomplish, and I would like to keep continuing and hoping that I can make that accomplish for someone. I want to be able to have that ability to just uplift someone and just give them some entertainment, or maybe even just something to put their mind out of their troubles, or just enjoy this hobby as much as I do. Have the zeal and the passion that me and a lot of people in Gunpla have, and if I could share that with someone, that's fucking awesome. And that's all I can say. Really, I love you guys. I hope that we can continue to keep going on, keep building new kits, and just enjoy not only our hobby, but get to know ourselves not only as individuals, but as a group of people together. And that's all I really want to accomplish here. So with that in mind, I'm Harassment, and I will see you later. Peace.